What if your perceived limitations are not real? What if you've been robbed of the knowledge of how truly powerful you are? The answer to these questions is not some abstract concept for you to passively contemplate, but a tangible shift in your experience of reality available right now. Understanding this isn't just about personal enlightenment. It's about realizing that the constraints you've accepted are not inherent truths, but rather imposed narratives. This isn't simply another self-help idea. It's an unveiling of your birthright. The content of this video could lead to a fundamental shift in how you relate to your own potential, transforming your perception of reality from a fixed limitation to a field of limitless possibility, directly shaped by you. The core idea we're exploring here is that there exists an ancient energy technique, a method so potent that through its application, you can directly experience your inherent divine nature and power. This isn't a belief system to be accepted on faith. It's an actionable technology to be personally explored and validated through direct experience. It's not about trying to become something you are not, but remembering and embodying the divinity that already exists within you. Think of it as unlocking a dormant code within you, allowing you to see yourself and your potential with entirely new eyes. This contrasts sharply with traditional concepts of divinity, where power is often placed outside of the individual in some distant entity or unreachable realm. The very structure of many of these narratives are designed to keep you disconnected from your own internal authority. For too long, societal programming and deeply ingrained beliefs have conditioned us to feel separate from our source, to believe we are limited, powerless, and at the mercy of external forces. The story has been that we're inherently flawed, disconnected from our divinity, and reliant on some external savior. But what if that's not true? What if this perceived separation is not a fundamental reality, but an illusion, a veil that can be lifted? This ancient technique is precisely that, a key to unlock your awareness and reclaim the power that has always been yours. It's time to move past the stories you've been told about who you are and begin to actively experience your limitless potential. Imagine a life where the boundaries you once felt are now seen as just lines on a map, lines you can redraw or erase entirely. Understanding and applying this ancient technique is not just a personal endeavor. It's a catalyst for a fundamental shift in how you relate to your entire reality. The potential impact is not just about self-improvement, but a move towards conscious creation. What if your reality is not a fixed construct, but something you can actively mold? This knowledge is not widely taught, and in fact, it's been deliberately obscured throughout history because it directly challenges the foundations of disempowering systems. The obscurity of this ancient method was not accidental. It is strategically designed to keep you unaware of your power, maintaining your dependence on external forces. This technique places the power squarely back in your hands. Throughout this video, we'll be threading together the ideas of energy, intention, and your ability to shape your reality, moving beyond theory to give you a direct and palpable experience of these truths. Throughout history, there have been whispers of ancient cultures and spiritual traditions that recognized and utilized similar energy techniques. Think of ancient yogic practices, shamanic traditions, and various mystery schools. These weren't just abstract spiritual concepts, but practical methods for accessing deeper levels of awareness. These ancient masters knew of your true divine nature, understanding that divinity is not something to be achieved, but a state of being to embody and activate. It is an inherent part of your existence, waiting to be recognized. We will explore this more deeply. As we progress, we'll link together energy, intention, and your ability to shape your world. It's a process of moving from abstract thought to direct experience. It's like learning a new language, one where intention becomes the translator between the energy of the universe and your manifestation. You're not just learning about these concepts, you'll be guided through the direct experience of them, so you'll know this isn't just a theory. Have you ever felt a disconnect between your potential and your actual lived experience? Have you sensed a nagging feeling that there's more to life than what you've been led to believe. This feeling is a sign, a call to awaken to the truth of your own power. This ancient energy technique, carefully guarded and obscured throughout history, has been suppressed for a reason. Its deliberate concealment has kept humanity trapped in a limiting narrative of powerlessness, but the time for that narrative is over. As you watch this video, you'll begin to recognize patterns in your life that confirm these truths. You'll begin to see how your own intentions, beliefs, and energy shape the world around you. And by the end of this video, you will have the opportunity to not only understand these concepts, but to experience their reality for yourself, moving beyond belief into direct and undeniable knowledge. You see, the whispers of ancient cultures utilizing similar techniques weren't just myths or isolated incidents. They were part of a deeper understanding of reality, a secret stream of knowledge that flowed through various time periods and places. Consider the mystery schools of ancient Egypt, where initiates underwent rigorous training to understand and harness the power of their own consciousness. Their elaborate rituals and practices, although seemingly symbolic to the uninitiated, were actually precise methods for manipulating the energetic fields within and around them, tools that could directly alter their reality. These weren't just religious rites. They were applications of a deeply understood science of the soul, a path to directly experience their own divine essence. They understood that divinity was not an external force to be worshipped, but an internal potentiality to be activated. Similarly, in the depths of ancient India, the yogic traditions developed complex systems to awaken and direct what they called prana, or life force energy. Through focused breathing techniques, meditative practices, and precise postures, they were able to manipulate their internal energy fields and access higher states of awareness. This was never just about physical fitness. It was about a journey into the power of inner energy control, a method of aligning themselves with the very fabric of existence. The Tantric traditions, often misunderstood, delved even deeper into these principles, utilizing them as pathways to transcend duality and directly experience the interconnectedness of all things. These examples, stretching across geographies and eras, aren't isolated occurrences, but echo the core truth we're exploring today, each culture using unique frameworks to unlock the same human potential. Now, to bridge this ancient wisdom with a more modern understanding, let's talk about the theoretical framework that supports it. It's important to understand that the universe operates on principles that our current scientific models are just beginning to grasp, but ancient cultures knew intuitively. Think about the concept of quantum entanglement, where particles can be linked in such a way that they instantaneously affect each other, regardless of the distance separating them. This isn't just some abstract theory. It's a glimpse into the interconnectedness of reality at its most fundamental level. Imagine, for a moment, the implications of this. If particles, the very building blocks of reality, can be connected in this way, what does that suggest about your own connection with the world around you and with your own inner potential? Or consider the observer effect, where the act of observation itself influences the behavior of quantum particles. This seemingly strange behavior, where the mere act of looking affects what is observed, directly echoes the power of your intention. When you focus your attention on a specific outcome, are you not, in a sense, observing it into existence, shaping your reality through the sheer power of your focused awareness? This isn't about some magical power. It's about understanding the fundamental mechanics of how energy responds to consciousness. These principles aren't just scientific concepts. They are the language of creation, and they are the language of the ancient techniques we are discussing, all pointing to a reality where consciousness and energy are intertwined. It's here that we see a critical distinction, the difference between the power we are told we have and the real power we possess. How many of the dominant world religions place the source of power in an externalized deity, requiring you to pray, beg, and seek external validation? This approach subtly undermines your own sense of agency. positioning you as a supplicant rather than an active participant in creation. Conversely, these ancient techniques, in their very core, teach that the real power resides within you, a potentiality to be activated, not a gift to be granted. They focus on cultivating an inner connection, a direct experience of your own divine nature, rather than relying on external intermediaries. The power that these traditions focused on was your inherent power, your ability to shape your inner and outer worlds, and this was never meant to be something you earned from some higher external power, but a state of being that you came into this world with. This focus on internal empowerment is not just a philosophical divergence, it's a practical shift in how you engage with your own reality. You move away from seeing yourself as a passive recipient of fate to a conscious co-creator. Now, consider this. The very principles of quantum entanglement and the observer affect the interconnectedness of reality, and the power of observation form the bedrock upon which these ancient energy techniques operate. They are not separate or disparate ideas. They're different expressions of the same fundamental truth. This is where theory and practice meet. The ancient techniques aren't merely spiritual practices. They are precise methods of engaging with these very quantum principles. The historical application of these techniques shows that when combined with an understanding of how intention can direct the flow of energy, a path opens towards personal transformation and a direct experience of your inherent divinity. We can see now that the historical examples, the theoretical frameworks, and the power of inner focus are all working together. This isn't about blindly adopting some ancient tradition. It's about understanding the fundamental principles that allow you to access your own hidden potential, principles which have been understood and practiced across time. And this understanding is vital because it leads us directly to the specific technique, and that is what I'll now be revealing to you. So, now that we have explored the historical echoes and seen the theoretical bridge, let's transition to the heart of the matter, the ancient energy technique itself. This isn't just some add-on or an interesting side note. It is the natural culmination of everything we have discussed so far, the practical application of all of that information, and the direct gateway to experiencing your inherent power. It's a very specific method that brings together your awareness, your intention, and your innate energy system to create something truly transformative. It's not about passively receiving some magical power, but about actively engaging with your own energetic field, directing it consciously. This is not an external force to be controlled, but your very own energy, shaped by your intent, and that is the key here. This is not a passive process, where you are hoping something will magically happen. This is a conscious act of engaging with your own divine energy. It's an act of self-discovery, not a request for external intervention. This specific energy technique, at its core, involves focusing your inner awareness and directing your intention in a particular way. Think of it as learning to conduct the orchestra of your energy field, where your intention acts as the conductor's baton, guiding the flow and the form of your inner world. It is not about forcing energy to do something, but gently directing it with your clear and focused intention. And this isn't some physical movement or a set of complicated steps. It's about how you hold your awareness. This process is primarily internal, a conscious act of directing your energy through focused intention. It's an inner engagement, not an outer ritual, and that's a crucial distinction. The true power resides not in the external steps, but in the internal experience, the feeling of your focused intention working in harmony with your inner energy. The method doesn't require any special props, external elements, or specific locations. It simply requires your present awareness and your intentional focus. It's a technique that transcends physical limitations because it's designed to work with the core energy you already are, an energy that responds to intention. It's about unlocking a potentiality, not creating a force that is not already present within you. And here, it becomes crucial to move beyond the intellect and into the realm of feeling. Why? Because this energy technique isn't about intellectual understanding. It's about direct experiential insight. It's not a mental exercise where you are trying to understand the steps in your head. It's about feeling the shifts in your inner landscape. You might find yourself trying to analyze and rationalize the process, but it is imperative to remember that the real power lies in feeling the subtle shifts in energy flow, in your sense of self, and in how you perceive the world. It's about bypassing the rational mind and accessing the deeper, more intuitive part of yourself. The technique is not some external process. It is the embodiment of your inherent connection to the energy of the universe. Don't try to figure this out. Feel it, and by feeling it, you'll access far more than any rational understanding could ever provide. It's like trying to understand the taste of an orange by reading about it. The true understanding comes through the experience of eating it, not intellectualizing it. And so, what we've discussed so far has all been in preparation for the moment you now have, because, in just a few moments, you will have the opportunity to experience this ancient energy technique directly. It's not just something for you to hear and understand. It's a tool that you can personally use to unlock your own inherent divinity, a tool to directly validate everything that we've discussed up to this point. This isn't about just another belief system you'll need to adopt. It is about personally validating what is true for you through the power of direct experience. You're going to be stepping out of the intellectual world and into a direct engagement with your energy. And with this experience, you will discover that you are so much more than you may have ever thought possible. Prepare to move beyond just listening. The time for you to start feeling your inherent power is about to begin. Now we move into deeper understanding, and from that point, move towards direct application. Let's dive deeper into the core principle of this ancient energy technique. Think of your intention as a focused beam, a signal that directs the flow of energy. It's like tuning a radio to a specific frequency. Your intention sets the channel, and your inner energy responds to that signal. The clearer and more focused your intention is, the more precisely the energy will respond. This is not just some abstract concept. It's an actual, tangible process happening within your own being. You are not just a passive observer in this process. You are the active director, the conscious orchestrator of your own energy field. Your intention isn't some vague wish. It is a specific frequency that interacts directly with your energy, shaping and directing it in real time. This is not about exerting force. It's about using the natural laws of energy and using your conscious intent to align yourself with these laws. It's about understanding the interface between your consciousness and the underlying energy of reality, and your intent is the key. Now, let's look at a preliminary overview of what we will be doing in the next section. You will be guided through a specific process, a pathway designed to help you engage with your inner energy, and it will involve a specific posture, a focus of intention, and a conscious emotional connection. Each of these steps isn't just some arbitrary action. It's designed to create a specific energetic state. The posture acts as a grounding mechanism, helping you to become present and connected with your body, the vehicle through which this energy operates. The focus of intention is your method of direction, guiding your energy towards a specific outcome. The emotional connection amplifies the process, adding a powerful current to the energy flow, and all of these components must be working together. This isn't a complicated process. It's a simple yet elegant method for accessing a deeper part of your awareness and consciously directing your energy. Each component is vital. Each plays a specific role in unlocking the full potential of this technique, and this preparation is designed to guide you through the experience and to feel the process fully. And so, as you prepare for this experience, it's essential to see that this isn't a rigid set of rules, but a flexible pathway to understanding your own energy system. Every individual will experience the technique differently. There is no one-size-fits-all approach, and that is the beauty of this process. The feedback loop of understanding, application, and transformation means that the technique itself evolves with your own journey. As you begin to apply it and notice its effects, your understanding will deepen, allowing you to refine your practice further. This is not a static process, but a dynamic journey of exploration and discovery. It's designed to adapt to you, not the other way around, and this is where your own personal journey with this technique begins. Your experience will be unique, guided by your own inner wisdom and your intention. The core principles remain the same, but the application will naturally be different for each individual. So, it must be said, this isn't about mastering a perfect technique, but about using it as a mirror for your own unique experience of your inner energy. It is not something to get right, it's something to experience. Each time you engage with the technique, you'll notice subtle differences, new insights, and deeper levels of awareness that further amplify the effect. This technique is a guide, not a prescription, a pathway to your own personal and unique inner world. Individual modifications are not only acceptable, they are expected. It's your unique journey that truly matters. This isn't a static method. It is designed to work with you, evolve with you, and ultimately lead you to your own unique experience of divinity. This personal nature is critical for the next step, the direct application of the technique. Now, before we move on to the direct application, let's consider why this powerful technique isn't more widely known. Why is this not taught in schools? Why aren't these things part of our mainstream culture? What if this knowledge has been deliberately kept hidden, obscured from the masses to maintain a system of control? It's not hard to see how a population that knows its own inherent power is a dangerous population to those who would seek to control it. This is not accidental. The suppression of this knowledge is strategically designed to maintain your dependence on external authorities, perpetuating the belief that you are limited and powerless. This is why these powerful techniques have been relegated to the shadows, kept from the reach of everyday people. And those who seek to maintain control, they understand this very well. They know the power of conscious awareness, and for this reason, they keep that from you. And what exactly do you stand to gain by understanding this technique? What's at stake here? The potential gain is nothing less than a profound sense of personal empowerment, the ability to consciously create your own reality and to step into your inherent divinity. When you understand that your limitations aren't real, that the stories you've been told about yourself are not true, then you have everything to gain. But if you remain limited, you also see the very real costs. To remain in a place of powerlessness is a choice, and you continue to lose your true power and potential if you choose to remain there. The difference between knowing your power and remaining ignorant is the difference between liberation and limitation, between mastery and subservience. You are poised on the edge of a new understanding of yourself, one that can fundamentally shift how you experience your entire world. This is a path toward conscious creation, where you move from reacting to circumstance to actively directing your life. And this is not simply about personal betterment. It's about accessing a higher potentiality. And so, this technique isn't just going to give you some new information or another theory to consider. It's a direct pathway to challenge your own perception of yourself and the world, and this shift is about to become very tangible. This is a path towards a profound perspective shift, and that is about to be put into action. By understanding and experiencing this energy technique, you are going to begin to challenge the illusion that you're somehow limited or powerless. This isn't about some intellectual debate. It's about a direct experience that transforms your understanding at a core level. You're not just going to learn something new, you're going to fundamentally alter the way you relate to your own potential. This is the power of direct experience, and it's what we're about to move into. And now, prepare yourself, because in the next section, you will have the opportunity to step out of the intellectual world and into a direct experience of this ancient technique. It's a moment where you will move beyond the realm of information and into the reality of your own inherent power, and your world is about to change forever. This isn't just another idea or theory. It's an invitation to step into a direct and undeniable experience that will alter your very perception of who you are. And in the next section, you will finally have the chance to step into this new reality. Now, it's time to move from understanding to experience. It's time to shift from the conceptual to the tangible, and from the theoretical to the deeply personal. Up until now, we've been laying the groundwork, building the framework for a new way of understanding yourself and your inherent power. But true understanding doesn't come from simply listening or intellectualizing. It comes from direct experience, from feeling the truth within you, and now you have the chance to do exactly that. The next few moments are not about passively receiving more information. They are about actively engaging with your own inner energy, and it's this direct engagement that will bring the ideas we have discussed to life. This is the moment where theory meets practice, where knowledge transforms into wisdom, and where you finally take the first step into direct experience of your inherent divinity. It's time to move beyond the thinking mind and into the realm of feeling, and that is where the real transformation will take place. So, let's prepare for this journey. Before we begin the energy technique, it's essential to create a space that supports inner reflection, a space free from distractions, where you can truly connect with yourself. And I would suggest that you find a quiet space where you can be undisturbed for the next few minutes. It doesn't matter if you're sitting or lying down, just make sure you're comfortable, relaxed, and free from any external interruptions. This isn't about creating some sort of perfectly sacred space. It's about minimizing external stimuli so that your attention can naturally turn inward. And this is not an aesthetic concern, but a crucial element in creating the right conditions for this experience. Think of it as creating a sanctuary within yourself, a place where you can truly listen to the whispers of your own heart. By removing the distractions of the external world, you create the space for your inner world to come to the forefront. This is where you will begin the work of experiencing yourself, the real you. And as you settle into your chosen space, remember that your intention is the guiding force here, the key that unlocks your inner potential, because your intention shapes your experience. This isn't a passive process where you are hoping something will happen. This is a conscious act of directing your energy, and your focused intent is what makes it so powerful. So, as you prepare to begin, take a moment to consciously focus on the desire to connect with your inherent divine nature. This isn't about just wishing for it. It's about actively aligning your consciousness with the intention, and with that clarity, the process becomes so much more powerful. This intention is your compass, guiding you toward a deeper connection with the divinity that resides within you, and it is essential that you feel this desire strongly and clearly. This is not just a mental concept. It's an energetic alignment, a resonant frequency that sets the stage for what is about to unfold. Now, it's time to turn your attention inward, and this is an important pattern to reinforce, shifting from the outer to the inner. Begin to focus on your breath, the gentle rise and fall of your chest, and the subtle sensations within your body, rather than the noises or distractions around you. This shift of awareness is a critical part of this technique, and you might find your mind wanting to drift back to the world outside, but simply and gently bring your awareness back to your breath. It's a deliberate act of turning your focus from the external to the internal, from the outer world to the inner landscape. As you do this, you'll begin to notice that there's a world of sensation within you, a realm of experience that is far more vast than you might have previously thought. And as you begin to feel this realm, the true experience can begin. This is the essential first step in truly feeling the reality that you are a divine being. So, with your intention set and your awareness turned inward, we can now begin the step-by-step process of this ancient energy technique. And remember that each step is designed to guide you towards a direct experience of your inherent divinity. To start, take 3 slow, deep breaths. Breathe in deeply through your nose, filling your lungs completely, and then exhale slowly through your mouth, releasing all tension. And as you do this, gently focus your attention on your heart center. This is the energetic center of your being, the place where your personal power resides, and with each breath, allow yourself to become more present, more connected to this center of your being. It is important that you are not rushing through this or just trying to get it done, but allowing each breath to be a gateway deeper into the experience. The breathing isn't just a physical action, it's a method of aligning yourself with the natural rhythm of your energy. It's a pathway to the present moment, the only place where true power can be accessed. Now, as you continue to focus on your heart center, gently direct your intention toward it, feeling the connection with your divine essence, and with each breath, allow that connection to grow stronger. Don't just think about your divine essence. Feel it, allow yourself to resonate with the idea, and move from a purely intellectual concept to a felt, emotional experience. This is not an intellectual exercise, and it is not something that you can conceptualize or figure out. It is something to experience, to feel, and to allow yourself to fully connect with. When you engage with your intention, you are not just imagining. You are creating a resonant field, a specific energy that aligns with your inner divinity. It is a direct engagement with the power that already resides within you. This feeling, not the intellectual pursuit of it, is key. And as you continue to direct your intention, allow yourself to feel the energy without trying to analyze it. And this is not about figuring out what is happening. It's about trusting the direct experience. You might find your mind wanting to understand, wanting to categorize, but it's important that you consciously release those impulses and instead allow yourself to feel the shifts and the sensations within you. You're not trying to achieve some specific result. You're simply being present with the experience, trusting your own inner wisdom and knowing that there is no right or wrong way to feel it. This is not about what you think you should be feeling, but about what you are actually feeling and allowing that experience to unfold naturally. This isn't about control. It's about allowing, about trusting that the inherent intelligence of your being will guide you to exactly where you need to be. You might be feeling a sense of warmth, a tingling sensation, a deep sense of peace, or perhaps something entirely unique to you. And as these feelings arise, allow yourself to fully experience them without questioning or judging. You don't need to understand the sensations. Simply allow them to be. Trust that they are a direct manifestation of your own energy responding to your intention. And this is a moment to fully trust your inner wisdom, because it's guiding you through this process. Every feeling you experience, every sensation that arises, is a valid and valuable part of this process. So allow yourself to be curious, to explore, to fully immerse yourself in the direct experience of your own energy. This isn't a passive observation. It's an active engagement with the inherent power that resides within you, and that is the key element here. Now, take a moment to notice any shifts in your energy, any sensations in your body, and the overall sense of your awareness, and don't try to analyze it. Just notice what you are feeling and ask yourself, what do I feel right now? This is not about what you think you should feel or what you hope to feel. It's about being present with the actual experience you are having. This is a moment of pure, unfiltered perception, and it's crucial that you allow yourself to be with it without judgment or interpretation. When you focus on the present moment, your personal truth has a chance to express itself, and that is the key here. By paying attention to what's actually happening, you will gain a direct experience that is far more valuable than any intellectual analysis. And as you do this, I want you to recognize that the experience you are having right now is your confirmation, your personal proof, and you don't need to seek validation outside of yourself. This isn't about believing in something you cannot perceive. This is about directly experiencing something that you know to be true for you. Your personal truth is far more powerful and accurate than any external source of validation, because it's rooted in your own direct experience. The power to confirm your own divinity resides within you, and this technique is about empowering you to recognize it and to validate this for yourself. This isn't about accepting someone else's ideas. It's about embracing your own truth, and it's that which is paramount. Notice how this direct experience is already changing your sense of yourself and the world around you, because this is not just a one-time event. It's a process that will continue to unfold as you engage with the technique. Every time you practice, you will go deeper, revealing more profound levels of understanding, and what you've done here is activate the transformation feedback loop, the method of understanding and deepening the practice. You'll find that the more you practice, the more you'll begin to understand the subtleties of your energy field, and the more you understand, the deeper your practice will become. The shifts you are experiencing right now are not isolated incidents. They are the start of a continuous evolution of your awareness, a journey into your full potential, and that is what this is all about. And in this moment, you have just directly experienced that you are not separate, that divinity is not external. It's within you, and you can feel it, and this is a fundamental shift in perspective. This feeling is not a fleeting sensation. It's a deep and permanent change in how you perceive yourself and your place in the world. You're no longer seeing yourself as just a physical body. You're now experiencing yourself as a divine being, and from that place, you can begin to reshape your entire world. This change isn't something to be strived for. It is something you have now experienced directly, and that changes everything. You are shifting from the illusion of separation to the truth of interconnectedness, and that is where all power lies. And this initial experience is just the beginning, because with regular practice, you will unlock further dimensions of your potential and your connection to the divine. This technique is a pathway, and you've just taken your first step on that path. As you continue to engage with it, you'll begin to explore new levels of awareness that you never thought possible. This is not a fixed destination. It's an ever-evolving journey of self-discovery, and there are limitless levels of depth available to you. This isn't about mastering the technique. It's about using it as a key to unlock the infinite potential within you, because this one step is merely the beginning of a much larger transformation. And as you continue to engage with this technique, you will find you become the conscious creator of your reality, and you will experience a world that is in total alignment with your true nature and with your divine power. This isn't about passively waiting for things to change. It's about actively shaping your life in accordance with your deepest desires and intentions. This technique isn't just about feeling good in the moment. It's about empowering you to consciously direct your life, to become a deliberate force in your own existence, and that is the true path to liberation. This is a pathway to move from being a passive recipient of experience to an active creator of your own reality. Now that you can sense the flow of energy, you will also begin to notice patterns in your daily life, and you can use this technique to shift them. This technique is not just something to do in private, on your own time. It's a tool that you can bring into every aspect of your existence, and now that you can feel the energy, you can use it to shift the old, limiting patterns that are no longer serving you. This isn't just about changing your internal world. It's about changing the world around you, and it's your awareness that is the key to making all of these changes. The more you engage with this process, the more you'll find that you are no longer limited by your past conditioning, and that is an empowering experience. What you have experienced today is just the first step on a journey that can transform your entire reality, and the path is now open for you to explore, because what you've touched today, the direct experience of your own divine nature, is merely the tip of a much larger truth. There are countless levels of depth to explore, and a whole world to discover through the ongoing practice of this technique. And as you continue to walk this path, your understanding will deepen, and your power will expand, and you're only just beginning this extraordinary journey. This is an invitation to continue, to seek more, to explore deeper, and it's a path that will reveal more of your true potential than you could possibly imagine, so let's continue to explore. And now, let's explore the mechanics of this transformation in greater depth, because what you've experienced isn't a one-time event. It's the beginning of a powerful feedback loop, one that continually reinforces and deepens your connection with your inherent divinity. Think of it like a snowball rolling down a hill, beginning with a small shift in awareness, which, through continued practice, grows exponentially, gathering momentum and power as it descends. That initial experience of the energy technique alters your self-perception, acting as a catalyst for further exploration and refinement. And this new perspective, born from your direct experience, creates a stronger desire to delve deeper, which then amplifies the initial effect. It is a self-reinforcing cycle where each experience deepens your understanding, strengthens your connection, and expands your sense of self. For instance, consider someone who always believed they were limited, powerless, and completely at the mercy of their circumstances. And through the practice of this technique, they directly experience their inner power, their potential to shape their own reality. This experience then reframes their belief system, making them less inclined to accept those old limitations and more eager to continue exploring their newfound abilities. This is not a passive process. It's an active engagement where you become the conscious architect of your own transformation, because with every step you take, with every new insight you gain, you're not just changing your understanding, you're changing your very being, and the cycle reinforces itself. This brings us to the concept of conscious reality creation, a natural consequence of understanding your inherent divinity. And now that you've directly experienced the power of your inner energy, you have, in effect, become a conscious creator. It's time to recognize that reality isn't a fixed construct. It's a malleable experience shaped by your inner state. And just as a potter shapes clay into a specific form with their intention, so too do you shape your reality with your thoughts, emotions, and focused intention. This isn't about magically manifesting desires, but about understanding that your inner world is constantly projecting outward, creating the experiences that you perceive around you. When you are aligned with your divine nature, your intentions become more clear, more powerful, and more congruent with your true purpose. And this means that you can now consciously choose what you want to create, rather than passively accepting what is presented to you. The experience of this energy technique provides the direct understanding and practical tools to shift from being an unconscious recipient of reality to a conscious co-creator. And this isn't some lofty concept. It's a tangible experience that you can now utilize in every moment of your life, and that changes everything. It means that you have the capacity to design the life that you want, in full alignment with your deepest values and desires, and that is true empowerment. And let's revisit the pattern of thought versus feeling, because it is critical to fully understand this concept, and that is that the direct experiential understanding you've gained from the technique bypasses the limitations of intellectual analysis. True knowledge is not an intellectual pursuit. It is a direct bodily knowing, a visceral experience that transcends the confines of the rational mind. Intellectual debates about the existence of divinity can continue endlessly, with no definitive answers, and yet you, at this moment, have felt the truth directly, experienced the divine within you, and that direct, visceral feeling is a far more powerful and accurate validation than any mental concept. This experience goes far beyond the thinking mind and into the realm of feeling, and that is where true transformation resides, and that's why this is so potent. You can analyze, dissect, and interpret, but it's the experiential knowing that cuts through all the noise, that goes straight to the core of the truth. When you operate from direct experience, you operate from a place of knowing, not from a place of mere belief or assumption, and it's that difference that will empower you to live in full alignment with your true potential. Now, how can you apply this understanding in your daily life? How can you make this a practical tool and not just a philosophical concept? The next time you find yourself stressed, overwhelmed, or caught in a cycle of negative thoughts, take a moment to pause and shift your awareness inward. Even if you only have a few minutes, use that time to connect with your heart center and begin to feel the energy within you. Take 3 slow, deep breaths, feeling the energy build, just like you did before. And as you do, gently focus your intention on the experience of your inherent divinity. Allow that feeling to grow stronger until it fills you completely, and you will notice that the stress will begin to dissolve, replaced by a sense of peace and clarity, And this isn't about ignoring your problems or your challenges. It's about approaching them from a place of power and centered awareness. This is how you can transform your daily life. By consciously choosing to engage with your own energy, and by utilizing this technique as a tool to navigate all of the challenges that you might face. It's not something you just do in meditation. It's something you bring into every moment, every interaction, and every challenge, so you can begin right now. But here is the key element to understand. The feeling of separation from divinity, this belief that you are somehow apart from the source of all creation, is not a natural state. It's a result of societal programming and conditioning, and from the moment you were born, you were bombarded with narratives that reinforce the idea of separation. These are stories about victimhood, scarcity, and powerlessness, designed to keep you disconnected from your true potential. And these narratives are carefully woven into every aspect of our lives, from education to media to religion. And what they do is cultivate the belief that you're small, limited, and that you need to seek validation, meaning, and salvation from outside sources. For example, consider how common societal narratives often portray humans as inherently flawed, as beings who need to be saved by external forces. And from a very young age, you are taught that you are a sinner, or that you are imperfect, that you are not enough. And these messages, constantly repeated, become ingrained in your subconscious, creating a false sense of separation from the divine. And this is not some accidental flaw. It's a deliberate manipulation, designed to keep you compliant and easily controlled. Because when you're convinced of your powerlessness, you're far less likely to question the systems that keep you that way. But here's the truth. You have the power to choose to break free from these limiting narratives, because what you've learned today, the direct experience of your inner divinity, gives you the agency to actively choose your own beliefs, thoughts, and realities. This isn't about passively accepting the limitations that were imposed upon you. It's about consciously reclaiming your inherent power and recognizing that you are not a victim of circumstance. You are a conscious creator, capable of shaping your own destiny. This understanding is a profound responsibility, because it requires that you no longer give your power away to external authorities, to societal dictates, or to limiting belief systems, and that you take complete ownership of your own experience. This means questioning every narrative you've ever been taught, every belief that you've ever held, and actively choosing what you will allow to shape your reality. And you have the power to rewrite your story, to transcend the limitations that were imposed upon you, and to move forward into a life of freedom and self-determination. Let's elevate the stakes further. By understanding and applying this ancient energy technique, you are not just embarking on a personal journey, but you are also taking the first steps toward complete liberation from limiting beliefs, because you're no longer constrained by external dictates. You're now guided by your own inner wisdom and your own direct experience. Contrast this with the restrictions of living by external dictates, always seeking validation from others, being controlled by the expectations of society, and constantly living in fear of not being good enough. This isn't freedom. It's a prison, a subtle form of bondage where your life is being dictated by forces outside of yourself. But the power to break these chains now lies within you. When you understand that your divinity is inherent, you no longer need to seek approval or validation from outside sources, which means you can make choices based on your own inner guidance, aligning with your own values and your own true purpose. And that is true liberation. That is the power of understanding your true potential. And let's evolve the pattern of inner versus outer focus, because that is the key to understanding your true power. Because as you connect with your inner divinity, the need for external validation diminishes, and you understand that true peace is found not in the approval or acknowledgement of others, but in the direct experience of your own inherent perfection. Consider the constant anxiety of seeking external validation, always worrying about what others think, always trying to please people, always feeling like you're not enough, and contrast that with the peace of internal knowing, the quiet confidence that comes from direct experience, from understanding that you are already whole and complete within yourself. This technique isn't just about feeling good in the moment. It's about shifting your entire focus from the external to the internal, and when you live from that place of inner knowing, you become immune to the fluctuations of external validation. You are your own authority, you are your own source, and that is a powerful place to operate from. And let's expand our perspective even further, because your personal transformation has wider implications. And it's not just about you, because as more people awaken to their inherent divinity, the collective consciousness of humanity begins to shift. Imagine a world where people are no longer driven by fear and scarcity, but are instead empowered by their own inner wisdom and their inherent connection to the divine. And in this new world, you would see less conflict, less competition, and far more cooperation, compassion, and empathy. When enough people embody their divine nature, this is not some distant dream. It's a very real possibility that is being created right now. This isn't just about individual enlightenment. It's about a collective awakening, a transformation of humanity as a whole, because when you recognize your inherent divinity, you also recognize it in everyone else, and that is the key to lasting, positive change. And as we move forward, understand that you are not alone on this path, and there are many others who are using these techniques to co-create a more harmonious reality. And even now, a global community of individuals is beginning to form, and by choosing to step into your own inherent power, you're contributing to this collective movement. You might not see it yet, you might not fully understand how, but there are others on this path alongside you, and you're all working towards the same goal, and that is to create a world where love, compassion, and abundance are the norm. This isn't just a personal endeavor, it's a collective journey, and you are an important part of it, and that is something to remember. The specific details of this community will be revealed later, but rest assured that you are not walking alone. And let's elevate the stakes once more. By bringing more people into the awareness of this technique, we can create a more peaceful, just, and sustainable world. This isn't just about personal transformation. It's about collective change, about creating a world where people are no longer driven by fear and scarcity, but are instead empowered to create a reality based on cooperation and abundance. Imagine a future where people are no longer controlled by external systems, where everyone operates from a place of inner peace, and where every decision is aligned with the well-being of all. And this isn't some far-off utopian ideal. It's a very real potential, and you, by practicing this technique and sharing this message, are actively contributing to this vision. You have the power to transform not only your own life, but the entire world, and that is a potent realization. And as we prepare to move into the next section, know that there is so much more to explore, and that in our next discussion, we'll be looking at the broader implications of this knowledge. And also we will be exploring the collective aspect of this work. Your journey is just beginning, and there are countless levels of depth to discover as you continue to walk this path. And this isn't the end of the road. It's a doorway to a new world, a new reality, and a new level of potential, and that will be our focus. You have, right now, glimpsed the vast potential within you, and in the following videos, we will continue to explore how to fully realize this power, and how we can all begin to actively and consciously create the reality that we want. Let's now connect all the ideas that we have discussed, because what you have experienced, from the initial connection to your heart center, to the understanding of conscious reality creation, and now to the understanding of collective empowerment, these are all interconnected aspects of the same truth. This isn't a collection of separate concepts. It's a unified understanding of your inherent divinity, and the more you practice the technique, the more you will begin to realize how all of these pieces come together in perfect synchronicity. The initial experience of the technique leads to a change in self-perception, which then opens the door to conscious reality creation. And finally, that all leads to an understanding of our interconnectedness and the potential for positive collective impact. And all of this flows from the same source, and that is your inherent divinity. And know that you have only just touched the surface of the power that resides within you, because what you've experienced today is just a glimpse of what's possible. There are countless levels of depth, endless possibilities waiting to be explored, and each time you engage with the technique, you will be peeling back new layers, uncovering new potentials, and growing in your understanding of your true nature. This isn't about mastering the technique. It's about using it as a key to unlock the infinite potential that is already within you. And the more you access it, the more you will realize that there is no limit to what you can become, what you can create, and what you can achieve, because you are a divine being. And let's take a moment to recognize the profound perspective shift that you have undergone today, because you've moved beyond the limitations of perceived victimhood and separation, and into the reality of being a conscious creator and a divine force. You are no longer operating from a place of limitation, from the idea that you're at the mercy of external forces. You are now operating from a place of limitless potential, fully connected to the source of all creation. This is not just a change in mindset. It's a fundamental transformation in your understanding of yourself and your place in the world, because you have shifted from the illusion of separation to the truth of interconnectedness. And that's a shift that will change everything for you, because you cannot go back to the way you were before. And now, as we begin to move towards the conclusion of this video, remember that this is only the beginning, and that much more lies within you, ready to be discovered, because the journey to fully embodying your divine potential is an ongoing process, and there are countless depths to explore, which is the direction we will be moving in the next section. This isn't an ending. It's the opening of a new chapter, and the next section will build upon everything we've explored so far. What you have learned today, from the energy technique to the understanding of conscious reality creation, all will be a foundation for the next stage in this remarkable journey. So let's continue onward. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on how your understanding of yourself has shifted since you applied the energy technique. Because what has changed in the way you see yourself, your potential, your place in the world? Perhaps you've always considered yourself as shy, anxious, or somehow less than others, and now you've experienced a deep, visceral sense of connection to your own inner power. Those limitations that once seemed so real might now feel like a distant, fading memory, and that's not just wishful thinking. It's a direct consequence of the altered energy within you, because you've made a connection with the source of all creation. That is a profound shift, and it's more than just a new idea. It's a fundamental change in your self-perception that can be further cultivated, and now you have the power to actively reinforce this shift in your daily life. One practical way to do this is to take some time each day to reflect upon any limiting beliefs that you've always held, and to rewrite them based on your new awareness. For example, if you've always believed that you're not creative, or that you're not intelligent, reframe these as statements of your unlimited potential. Write them down, say them out loud, and each time you do, reinforce that new understanding with the direct feeling that you've accessed by using this technique. And by actively reshaping your personal narratives, you're not just changing your thoughts, you're changing your reality. This is not an intellectual exercise. It's a direct emotional and personal connection to your inherent power, and that's where true transformation lies. And how can you take this further? You can begin using this technique as an active tool for consciously creating your reality. Because now that you have this direct connection to the energy within you, it's time to understand that you can actively shape your own experience, and that's where the real power lies. Conscious creation isn't some magical process. It's a natural expression of your divine nature, and it involves aligning your thoughts, your emotions, and your intentions with the outcomes that you want to experience. Let's take a practical example. If you know you have a challenging meeting coming up, instead of just feeling anxious or apprehensive before you begin, take a moment to connect with your heart center and use the breathing technique. And as you do, visualize the meeting unfolding in the way you desire, with all participants calm, respectful, and aligned to a positive outcome. Feel the energy of this desired outcome as you visualize it, and know that that energy will be the foundation of that experience. You're not just hopping for the best. You are actively shaping the outcome by consciously directing your energy, and that's the power of conscious creation. Start with small steps, with easily achievable outcomes, and as you become more adept at this, you will be able to manifest more complex and expansive experiences, but always begin with the feeling. That's the core of it all. Let's now reinforce the pattern of inner versus outer focus, because as you become more adept at using this technique, you will also notice that the need for external validation and control will begin to fade, because what you will discover is that when you have the ability to consciously create your reality, the desire to be controlled by external forces simply disappears. Take, for example, a scenario where you would have previously sought external approval for your decisions. Maybe you would ask others for their opinions, hoping for validation, and with this new understanding and direct experience, you can move from a place of inner knowing and self-validation. Instead of asking, you can take a moment, connect to your heart center, feel your own internal truth, and let that guide you. And this isn't about ignoring external advice. It's about making decisions from a place of inner wisdom rather than from a place of neediness, and that change shifts everything. You can now approach the world from a place of confidence and self-assurance, and you can start to experience immediate change when you stop seeking validation outside of yourself and choose instead to access your own internal authority. You have the power to live from a space of knowing, and not from a space of external dictates, and it is there that true freedom resides. So how can you integrate this practice into your daily routines, making it a regular and integral part of your life? It is important to make this a habit, because consistency is the key to transformation, and it's not about requiring hours of meditation. It's about weaving these practices into the fabric of your daily life. And there are many short-form versions of this technique that you can use throughout the day in various scenarios, without requiring a lot of time. For example, before you start any major task, before any meeting, before making any important decision, take a moment to use the core breathing technique, and this short practice will recenter you, reconnect you to your divine power, and give you a sense of clarity and presence. Even just a few deep breaths, combined with an intention to connect to your heart center, can make a profound difference, and the more you do it, the more powerful it will become. This is not just a practice to do in a quiet, peaceful setting. It's a tool that you can use anywhere, anytime, to navigate the challenges of daily life. And by making it a habit, you'll be consistently reinforcing your connection to your divine nature, and it will become second nature. Now, let's delve deeper into the mystery of why this powerful technique is not widely taught, because it is critical to understand why such a transformational tool is kept hidden. Why is it that most people have never even heard of this, let alone experienced it? Could it be that there are powerful groups or hidden forces who have intentionally suppressed this knowledge to maintain control over the masses? The idea that the average person is kept disconnected from their inherent power, while a select few maintain this knowledge, is not just a conspiracy theory. It's a pattern that has been seen throughout history. Consider the ancient mystery schools, the secret societies, and the powerful elites of various eras, and they have all held knowledge of hidden power, and they have done this while the masses remain unaware. And this isn't an attempt to create paranoia, but to understand that there are systems at play that actively encourage people to remain disempowered. This isn't an accident. It's a strategy, and you should question why. This brings us to challenging authority narratives, because by now you should be questioning mainstream narratives about divinity, power, and control. The established hierarchical systems, both religious and secular, have often promoted a view of divinity as something external, something to be worshipped or appeased, and these institutions have positioned themselves as intermediaries between you and the divine, and that narrative keeps you dependent on them for guidance and validation. But what if the divine is within you? What if you have always had direct access to it, and these systems are designed to obscure this truth? Now that you've experienced your own inherent divinity, it's time to challenge the dogmas that have kept you separated from your own power. This is an act of rebellion against the status quo, a step toward reclaiming your own authority, and you can do this by questioning the foundations of these narratives, by examining who benefits from their perpetuation, and by consciously choosing to build your own belief systems based on your own direct experiences and inner knowing. You don't have to accept what they tell you. You have the power to create your own truth, and this is where the stakes become even more elevated, because this is about personal sovereignty, your inherent right to self-determination, and understanding and utilizing this technique is not just about personal empowerment. It's about reclaiming your own authority over your own life. This isn't about seeking power over others. It's about liberating your own potential, and it's about understanding that you are responsible for your own experience, your own thoughts, your own feelings, and your own actions. By understanding your inherent divinity, you are not claiming a power that was not yours. You are simply reclaiming a power that was always your birthright, and the limitations that you have experienced were artificially created and imposed, and that you now have the ability to transcend. It's important to move beyond this idea of external limitations, beyond the idea of being at the mercy of circumstance, and begin to operate from a place of internal empowerment, from a space of self-governance, and that is what is meant by personal sovereignty, and you are ready to claim it. And as we move forward, know that this is only the beginning, and that there are even more advanced energy techniques that build upon this core practice, and in future videos, we will delve deeper into these practices, unlocking even more profound potentials within you. Think of this as the first step on a long and powerful path, and what you have learned today is just the foundation for even greater understanding, greater power, and greater ability to shape your reality. And the path of self-discovery is endless, with no limit to what you can discover. What we have shared is only a small part of a vast and intricate system, and there are many layers of knowledge still yet to be uncovered, many levels of potential waiting to be explored, and this journey will be one of continuous expansion, constant learning, and perpetual transformation. Now, let's expand our vision to the impact of this on a larger scale, because as more people awaken to their divine nature, the collective consciousness of humanity will gradually shift. And this isn't just about your individual transformation. It's about the transformation of the world as a whole. When a critical mass of individuals begin to embody this knowledge, the world will become a far more compassionate, harmonious, and abundant place. And this isn't just some utopian ideal. It's a natural consequence of recognizing our inherent interconnectedness. When more people understand that they are not separate from each other, that they are all part of one consciousness, there will be greater empathy, more understanding, and less conflict. Consider how a shift in awareness will change our interaction with others, and you will see how it will promote a greater sense of community and shared responsibility, and you're a part of that change. And now, I invite you to connect with a community of like-minded individuals who are also on this path. Because when you connect with others who understand the implications of this knowledge, you will accelerate your growth and deepen your understanding, and shared practice amplifies the effects, and that is key to collective transformation. Imagine being surrounded by people who not only understand what you're experiencing, but who can also support you and encourage you on your journey. And in this shared space of exploration, you can learn from each other, you can inspire each other, and you can grow together. And the details of how you can engage in this community will be shared soon, but know that it exists, and that you are already an integral part of it. And let's reiterate the transformation feedback loop, now applying it to the collective, because what you do as an individual has a ripple effect throughout the entire system, and that ripple effect moves out like the waves in the ocean, and it affects everyone around you. And just as the initial shift in your self-perception has led to a deeper experience of your divine nature, so too does the collective awakening lead to a greater expression of love, compassion, and understanding on the planet. Imagine a group of people who are all working to align their intentions, their emotions, and their thoughts toward the common good, and their shared vision can move mountains, and the small shifts within you are contributing to a larger shift for all of humanity. This isn't just an individual transformation, it's a collective one, and your participation is essential. And finally, I invite you to consider what actions you can take to further this collective awakening, because you are not just a recipient of this knowledge, you're a participant, and you have the power to be a catalyst for positive change in the world. You can begin by sharing what you've learned with others, by inspiring those around you to explore their own inherent power, and by engaging in actions that promote love, compassion, and understanding. And this isn't just about individual empowerment. It's about a shared responsibility to consciously create a more positive future for all, and that starts with you. It starts with your intention and your action. The power to change the world lies within each one of us, but it must be activated and used with full intention. Now, let's reintegrate all the core concepts, because from the initial energy technique to the understanding of conscious creation and the idea of collective empowerment, all of these concepts are all expressions of the same core truth, and they all spring from the same source. Divinity isn't something external to be attained. It's a natural state of being that is inherent within you, and the journey of self-discovery isn't about reaching a destination. It's about embracing a process of continual evolution and expansion. All the elements that we have discussed work in harmony, perfectly aligned to lead you to a greater understanding of who you are, what you are capable of, and why you are here. There is not a single point in this video that is not relevant to the whole. And as we move forward, know that what you have experienced today is a mere glimpse of the boundless potential that resides within you, because there are endless depths to explore, endless layers to uncover, and endless potentials to realize. And this journey has no end. It just goes further and deeper, and more expansive. The more you explore your own inner world, the more you will realize that you are a being of infinite possibilities, a consciousness without limits, and there are realms of awareness, layers of experience, and levels of power that are far beyond anything you have ever imagined. And this journey has no final destination. It is an endless expansion into the full expression of your divine nature. And you are only beginning. And let's take a moment to crystallize the perspective shift that you have undergone today, because you are no longer bound by the limitations of a perceived self. You are now standing in the power of your own divine nature, fully aware of the potential within you. What you have experienced cannot be taken away, cannot be unlearned, and your view of reality will be forever altered. And that fundamental shift, that transformation in self-perception, is the foundation upon which everything else will be built. And that is what makes this so impactful. It is a fundamental and unalterable shift. From this moment onward, you are no longer viewing yourself through the lens of limitation. You are operating from a place of infinite potential, and this is a view that will continue to serve you for the rest of your journey. And as we move towards the final section of this video, know that this is only the beginning of a much larger journey, and you now have the understanding to begin taking full responsibility for your experience, knowing that your actions can and will contribute to collective awakening. And in the final section, we will integrate all of these ideas, prepare you for your next steps, and invite you into a community of like-minded individuals. Remember that the journey is far from over, and you now have the opportunity to continue exploring, to continue to grow, and to continue to share this transformation with others. So let's move forward. Now, let's shift our focus to the concept of divine responsibility, because what does it truly mean to recognize your inherent divinity? It certainly doesn't mean that you now have a license to dominate or control others. It means that you now acknowledge that the power you seek is already within you, and that realization fundamentally changes your relationship with authority. For most of your life, you may have been conditioned to seek validation from external sources. Religious figures, societal norms, even your own family and friends. and you may have been seeking their permission, their approval, and their guidance, giving your power away in the process. You were, in essence, making them the arbiters of your truth, but with the understanding of your inherent divinity, that dynamic is no longer necessary. You can now move from a place of external seeking to a space of inner knowing, and the shift can start right now with a simple and yet profound recognition. Your internal guidance is the only authority you need. So how do you begin to make this shift? Notice the moments when you are seeking external approval, and as soon as you notice it, take a breath, connect with your heart center, and ask yourself, what does your inner knowing say about this? And trust that guidance above any external approval you might be seeking. It may seem daunting at first, but as you make this a conscious practice, that feeling of inner authority will grow, and as it grows, so does your ability to consciously shape your life from a place of internal power. And now, let's delve deeper into how this understanding dissolves any sense of victimhood, because as you step into your divine power, the idea of being at the mercy of external circumstances simply begins to fade away. The victim mentality, that sense of being a passive recipient of fate, is a construct, a story that you've been telling yourself, and it's a story that doesn't serve your true potential. It keeps you trapped in a cycle of powerlessness. Take a moment to reflect on how often you have given your power away by blaming others, by blaming circumstance, and by seeing yourself as a victim of life's many challenges. Perhaps you've blamed your upbringing, your environment, or just your so-called bad luck. But now, with the awareness of your inherent divinity, you can begin to see these scenarios from a new perspective, because you are not a victim of your experience, you are a creator of it. This doesn't mean that you should dismiss past challenges or traumas. It means that you are taking full responsibility for how you respond to them, and you are no longer letting your past define your present or your future. For example, instead of saying, "Why did this happen to me?" you can ask, "What can I learn from this?" Instead of seeing yourself as a victim, see yourself as a powerful being who has chosen this experience for their own expansion. And in every moment, you have the power to choose a different response, a different feeling, and to begin to move toward a better future. You have the ability to reshape your narratives, and you can begin doing this right now. And as you step into this full sense of responsibility, the stakes become even higher, because with the understanding of your divine nature and the ability to actively create your reality comes an understanding of the vast possibilities available to you, that you are no longer bound by the limitations of fate, but rather you are an active player in your own life story. And that creates enormous levels of liberation. Imagine for a moment that you are not a leaf being tossed around by the wind, but that you are the wind itself, actively directing your path, and that is the power of personal agency. You have the ability to choose the direction you want to move in, and you can do this through conscious intention. Think about a time in your life when you felt powerless and out of control. Perhaps you were stuck in a job that you disliked, or in a relationship that drained you, or maybe you felt trapped by your own limitations and beliefs. Now, using the energy technique, you can begin to consciously choose a different experience. You can begin by visualizing the life you desire, and begin to feel the feelings you would have if that life was your reality, and that action can start to move you away from the feeling of powerlessness and into a space of empowerment. That is a conscious choice. You are no longer a passive recipient, and that shift is fundamental. You are an active creator, and your life is your canvas. And with this understanding, you can begin to consciously create the future you want, from a place of inherent personal power. Now, let's evolve the pattern of thought versus feeling, and see how this new understanding will help you move beyond intellectual constructs and into a deeper state of inner knowing. Because what you are beginning to discover through direct experience is that true authority, true responsibility, stems not from the mind, but from a deep, visceral feeling that lies within your heart. And the mind can create stories, the mind can create doubts, the mind can create fears, but the heart knows the truth. Take, for example, a time when you were analyzing all the pros and cons of a major decision. Perhaps you listed all the things you believed to be right, but still felt unsure, and this is your mind trying to navigate, to logically understand, and this process often leads to confusion. But when you connect with your heart center and access the knowing that lies within you, there is no more doubt, no more hesitation. There is only a deep, resonant sense of inner truth. And this is the difference. The mind seeks to understand, but the heart simply knows. When you are facing a difficult decision, or when you are unsure of which path to take, use the energy technique and move into your heart center and ask yourself what feels aligned, and trust the guidance that arises from this feeling. It may not always be logical, it may not always make sense to the mind, but it will always be the truth. This practice of moving from thought to feeling is fundamental to your continued expansion and transformation. And now, let's delve into the practicalities of conscious creation and how you can begin to use your intention to direct energy flow to create the life experiences you want to have. Because what you may now begin to realize is that your thoughts, your emotions, and your intentions are not just ephemeral mental states. They are tangible forces that can actively shape the world around you. And the universe responds to the energy that you broadcast. It is not a passive receiver, but an active participant in your creation. Take a very practical example. Let's say you want to improve your health. Instead of simply hoping for better health, you can begin by visualizing yourself in perfect health, vibrant and full of energy, and then connect to the feeling of this health as if it is already your reality. And as you do, combine this with the breathing technique and feel the energy flowing through your body, and actively direct it toward the areas that need healing. Your focused intention, combined with the energy technique, will now begin to move you toward that reality. And if you combine this focused attention with conscious action steps, that manifestation will be accelerated even further. This is not magic. It is simply the science of using focused intention to direct energy flow. And the more you practice this, the more effective you will become. The key is to be clear about what you want to create, to feel it as if it's already yours, and to align your actions with your intention to create what you truly desire. And how can you enhance the power of your intention even further? By aligning it with the power of visualization and emotional resonance, because what is emotionally charged is far more potent, and if you are creating something from the mind alone, it will lack the power of emotion. But when you combine a clear intention with a clear vision, and infuse it with strong feelings, you will accelerate the speed of your manifestation. Let's try a visualization exercise. Take a moment to close your eyes and to connect with your heart center and use the breathing technique. And as you breathe, imagine that you are already in a relationship that is filled with love, joy, and mutual respect. And picture the details of your life in this relationship. How do you interact with your partner? How do you feel when you are with them? How does it look, sound, feel, etc.? Now, feel the feeling of that love, feel the joy, feel the happiness, and let it move through your body, and hold this visualization and feeling as if it is already your reality. The more real it feels, the more potent your intention becomes, and the more quickly you will manifest it into your life. This isn't about fantasizing. It's about aligning your inner world with the outer world you desire, and that alignment will begin to shift your experience, and that shift becomes your reality. This is the power of combined visualization, emotional alignment, and focused intention. And now let's raise the stakes once again, because this isn't just about manifesting personal desires. It's about using your inherent divine power to create a world that reflects your highest values. And when you realize you have the ability to consciously create your reality, you also understand that you can actively contribute to the positive evolution of the planet. And this is not just a selfish pursuit. It's a call to participate in the collective good. Instead of focusing only on your personal gain, ask yourself, how can I use my power to create a world that is filled with peace, harmony, and abundance for everyone? What does that future look like? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? And you can start with this small shift today. Begin by visualizing a world where people live in harmony, where everyone has their needs met, where there is cooperation and respect. Use the energy technique to feel the energy of this desired future and hold this vision with full emotional conviction, and that feeling will begin to ripple out into the world. By choosing to create from a space of love, compassion, and empathy, you will be contributing to a collective shift in consciousness. And this isn't just about you, it's about all of us, and you're a critical part of this transformation. This is how we elevate the stakes and move from the individual into the collective. And now, let's revisit the transformation feedback loop and show how every act of conscious creation further reinforces the understanding of your inherent divinity. And this is how the cycle accelerates. It's not a linear process. It is an exponential expansion, as each success reinforces the core understanding of your own power. Take a moment to reflect on a time when you successfully manifested something in your life. Perhaps you improved your health, attracted a positive relationship, or achieved a challenging goal. And as you did so, you had a profound sense of empowerment and self-trust, and that feeling reinforces your understanding of your innate potential. Each time you do this, the connection to your inner divinity grows stronger and stronger, and your belief in your ability to create your own experience becomes unshakable. And this understanding then informs your future actions, moving you faster along the path of transformation. You can now use this knowledge to track your own transformation, and each time you create something you desire, take a moment to reflect on how far you've come, and how this process has reinforced your understanding of your true nature. And by acknowledging this progress, you will begin to accelerate it. That is the power of recognizing your own growth. Now, let's expand our focus to the collective reality and begin to understand how your individual creations intertwine with the collective experience. Because what you need to understand is that individual realities are not isolated. They are all interwoven into a larger tapestry of shared experience. And just as the waves are individual but part of the same ocean, so too are all individual consciousnesses, part of a larger collective awareness. What you choose to create for yourself has an impact on the collective whole, and when you are creating from a space of love, compassion, and empathy, that is what is going to be reflected back at you. Take, for example, a group of people who are all working to create a world based on peace, love, and harmony. Their shared intention begins to shape that reality. Their combined energy moves in that direction, and that is how they begin to influence the collective experience. The more people that begin to choose this awareness, the faster the entire planet moves toward a more positive future. This isn't just a theoretical concept. It's a direct reflection of how our interconnectedness works. Everything is connected to everything else. And how can you maximize this collective impact? By sharing this knowledge with others, because when you empower others, you are empowering yourself. And this is the true nature of collective evolution. And that begins with the simple act of sharing, of being a catalyst for other people's transformation, and it moves us all toward a better future. Consider a scenario in which you share this video with others, and each time someone else begins to awaken to their divine nature, they amplify the collective intention of conscious creation. They begin to act in that frequency, and they contribute to a more positive world. By creating a community of conscious creators, you are strengthening the collective field, and it is within this shared space that true transformation begins to occur. It is not just an individual path. It is a shared journey, and it is now time to begin working together. By bringing more awareness to others, you are amplifying your own growth, and that is why sharing this knowledge is so critical. You become more powerful by empowering others. And now let's elevate the stakes once again, because what you are now beginning to understand is that true collective evolution is only possible through a collaborative effort. It requires the combination of individual intention and shared focus, moving toward a common goal, and this is where the power of collective consciousness is unleashed, and that becomes a creative force of enormous potential. Think, for example, of a time when a community united to create something positive, perhaps to build a school or a park, or to support people in need. And in those collective acts, they are able to achieve far more than any single individual can achieve. And that synergy comes from a group of people working together toward a common vision. And when you amplify this with conscious intention and the application of this energy technique, there are truly no limits to what you can achieve. And this is the potential that is available right now. And it requires all of us to move together with shared awareness and intentional creation. This is the promise of collective evolution, and all of you are invited to join this journey. And now, let's evolve the pattern of inner versus outer focus, and see how the desire to create a positive collective reality arises from a deep inner knowing, from that space of internal authenticity. And the desire to change the world is not about forcing external change. It's about cultivating an internal state that naturally reflects itself in the outer world. If you are trying to force an agenda or impose your beliefs upon others, you are acting from a space of fear, and that fear will be reflected back to you. True change is born out of inner awareness, and it is the natural outcome of aligning yourself with your inherent divinity, with your heart center. Consider a scenario in which you have attempted to change other people, to make them do what you think is best, and instead of cooperation, there was resistance, because that desire was rooted in fear and not in love. When you begin to operate from a place of inner knowing and self-authority, that desire to control will fade, and it is replaced by an understanding of shared responsibility and a genuine wish to contribute to a better world for all. That is the power of moving from inner to outer, and not the other way around. True change starts from within, and that inner change will automatically express itself outwardly as a reflection of your inner self. And as we approach the final stages of this video, let's move into the practicalities of integration, because it is now time to create an action plan that will help you make all of this a part of your daily life. It is not just a theoretical understanding, it must become a living practice. Begin by creating a daily schedule that allows a minimum of 15 minutes a day to practice the energy technique, visualization, and emotional alignment. Choose specific times where you will perform this practice, and you can begin immediately after waking up, or before you go to sleep, or even during a break in your workday. Be specific about how you will focus your intention, how you will visualize the outcomes you desire, and how you will allow yourself to move into the feelings you want to experience, and then hold that as your focus as you move through your day. Set weekly goals for your conscious creation practice, such as improving your health, attracting more abundance, or enhancing your relationships, and the more specific you are, the better. Write these goals down and review them daily, aligning your actions with the direction that you want to move. The key is not to overthink it, but to simply get started, and consistency is more important than perfection, so be patient with yourself and keep moving forward. You are planting the seeds of your future, and they will continue to grow. And now, let's reinforce the idea that long-term transformation is an ongoing process, and it requires your consistent participation. And you are now embarking on a journey that is not about achieving a destination, but about embracing a continuous process of growth and expansion. There may be times when you feel like you're making progress, and other times where you feel as though you have regressed. But that is simply part of the process, and the key is not to become discouraged, but to remain committed to your practice and to trust that you are always evolving. Create a personal accountability system by tracking your progress in a journal, and when you are not experiencing the outcomes you desire, use this a moment to evaluate your current approach. Ask yourself, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? What intentions am I holding? And are they aligned with what I want to create? If you have lost your focus, if you have gotten caught in old narratives, simply bring yourself back to the heart center and recommit to your practice. And this journey is not a linear progression. It is one of constant learning, of continuous evolution, and you will get better as time goes on. The key is to never give up on your own potential, because you are infinitely more powerful than you know. And as we prepare to transition to the next section of this video, let's take a moment to amplify the mystery, because what you have understood is just a small piece of a much larger picture. And as you continue to explore the depths of your own consciousness, you will continue to uncover layers of understanding, layers of power, layers of potential that are far beyond anything you have ever imagined. And the process is unending. It is a perpetual expansion into the limitless realms of your true divine nature. What you will discover is that there are no limitations, there are no boundaries, there is only infinite expansion and the potential to continue growing into your full potential. You will start to uncover the very nature of reality, the way that the universe works, and the very essence of consciousness itself. And the more you explore, the more the mysteries of the universe will begin to reveal themselves to you, and what we have shared today is just the very beginning. This is a journey of endless discovery, of infinite possibility, and your understanding of your own divinity will continue to deepen with every step you take. As you move deeper and deeper, you will never fully run out of potential. And as we move into the final phase of this video, understand that there are many more advanced techniques and concepts to explore that we will be sharing in future videos. And it is important for you to know that this journey is a continuous path, one with many levels of knowledge and understanding, each of which will be revealed to you as you move forward, as you deepen your personal practice. And begin to apply this to your daily life. That is how you will unlock the deeper mysteries. And these deeper levels of knowledge are far more expansive than anything we have explored today. And so, we will continue to delve into the intricate nature of energy, consciousness, and reality as we continue this journey together. Be sure to join us for the upcoming videos, because there is always more to discover, always more potential to unlock, and always more to expand into. And so we invite you to remain curious, to remain open, and to continue walking along this powerful path. Now, let's delve into the practicalities of weaving this ancient energy technique into the very fabric of your daily life. Because the true power of this practice lies not in grand, time-consuming rituals, but in the subtle and consistent integration into your routines. It's about making this a constant companion, a silent ally that supports you in every moment, not something you do in isolation, and it can be far more impactful than you might realize. Think about the moments when you find yourself waiting in line at the grocery store, or perhaps commuting to work, or even just sitting for a few minutes before a meeting begins. Instead of simply waiting, you can use these times to engage in a short version of the breathing technique. Connect with your heart center and allow your focus to move with your breath, feeling the energy flow through you. You don't need a special space, no special tools, just your awareness, and a couple of minutes can make a profound difference. Or when you're preparing for a challenging conversation, or perhaps before making an important decision, use that moment to align yourself, consciously direct your energy, and connect with your inner knowing. This isn't about adding more to your already busy life. It's about using the moments you already have to consciously create a different experience. The key is to start small, to be consistent, and to make this practice a natural part of your day, so begin with those small moments. And now, let's explore how this energy technique can become your direct connection to your inner guidance, your intuition, because what you are now beginning to understand is that your intuition is not some mystical or magical phenomenon. It's your direct link to your true self, to your inherent divinity, and the technique becomes a tool to access that deep wisdom. But how can you begin to distinguish between true intuition and the constant chatter of your mind? Think about those times when you were unsure of a decision, and your mind was going in circles, creating endless possibilities and doubts. This is the mental process at work. However, when you connect with your heart center, there's a feeling, a knowing that goes far beyond the logical analysis. It's a clear, calm, and resonant sense of direction, a deep internal knowing. Take a moment to reflect on a specific scenario where you were unsure of a decision. Now, using the energy technique, center yourself, breathe, and ask your inner wisdom for guidance. You may receive it as a feeling, an image, a word, or even a subtle sense of knowing, and the key is to trust that guidance, even if it doesn't make sense to your mind at first. This isn't about ignoring your thoughts. It's about aligning them with the deeper knowing within, and the more you practice this, the more you will begin to trust that inner guidance, and that will fundamentally change the way you make decisions. And as you consistently apply this technique, you will find that the stakes begin to rise once again, as you experience a greater sense of personal empowerment, and that this is not just about feeling good, it's about actively shaping your life from a place of clarity, calm, and authentic power, because when you are connected to your inner guidance, you move through the world with a sense of unwavering confidence. Consider a time when you were experiencing a particularly stressful situation. Perhaps you were facing a difficult challenge at work, or dealing with a conflict in a relationship, or you were caught in traffic and already late. Before, these events might have triggered anxiety, fear, or even anger. But now, using the energy technique, you can center yourself, access your inner knowing, and respond from a place of calm and clarity. You can now choose to stay present, to choose your response, rather than reacting from old patterns of stress. And the outcome will be fundamentally different, more focused, more calm, and that shift empowers you to navigate life with more grace and presence. This is not about escaping the challenges of life. It's about meeting them from a space of inherent power, and that is a fundamental difference. This isn't about avoiding stress, but it's about choosing how you respond to it. And now, let's reinforce that transformation feedback loop, because as you practice the techniques consistently, you will begin to understand that the process itself is your greatest teacher. And as you move forward, you will become more attuned to the subtleties of energy flow and inner guidance. You can begin to track your progress by keeping a journal, making note of the specific ways your energy shifts, what insights you're gaining, what decisions you're making, and how you are responding to challenging situations. What are you feeling? What are you thinking? What's changing? For example, what was a situation that caused you stress a month ago, and how do you experience it now? What are the differences? These are all key areas of awareness. And in this process, you'll find that you're not just learning about the techniques, you're learning about yourself, and you are seeing how your own inherent power shapes your experience. Perhaps you'll notice that your visualizations are becoming clearer, that your emotions are becoming more aligned, that your sense of self has shifted dramatically, and these insights are a clear reflection of your transformation. By reflecting on your journey, you will naturally be drawn to explore even further, to deepen your practice, and to push the boundaries of your understanding. And that is the power of recognizing and valuing your own evolution. Now, let's move into the realm of advanced conscious creation and begin to explore how emotional resonance amplifies the manifestation of your desires. Because what you're beginning to realize is that the universe doesn't respond just to your intentions. It responds to the energy you're broadcasting, and the most powerful energy is the energy of your feelings. If you are simply thinking of something or even visualizing something, but you are not feeling the feeling of it as your reality, the creation will lack power. But when you bring your emotions into alignment with your desired outcome, you accelerate its manifestation. Think about a time when you strongly desired something and you felt that longing with every fiber of your being. It is this feeling that brings the creation into being. For example, if you want to manifest abundance, simply thinking about money while simultaneously feeling a sense of lack creates a conflicted signal. However, if you can actively connect with the feeling of abundance, feeling grateful, joyful, and empowered, you will change the direction of your energy, and this creates the reality you are seeking. Start today with an emotional alignment exercise. Use the energy technique. Bring to mind a very specific desire and allow yourself to feel the feeling of having already received it. What would that feel like? Joy, gratitude, freedom. Now feel it fully and hold that emotional state. And this is how you begin to shape your reality from the inside out, and the feeling is always the key. And now, let's explore how visualization and intention work together to amplify your creative power. Because what you are understanding is that visualization is not just about creating mental pictures. It's about using your imagination to experience your desired reality as if it's already happening. And when you combine this with a clear intention, your ability to manifest increases exponentially. The more detailed and vivid your visualization is, the more powerful it becomes. Engage all of your senses. What do you see, hear, smell, taste, feel? Imagine yourself living in that experience, feeling the feelings that come with it, and then use the energy technique to amplify that feeling. If you want to manifest a new career, picture yourself in that new role. How does it look? How does it feel? And how do you interact with your new colleagues? If you are looking to create a positive relationship, visualize the connection, the communication, the love, and use your imagination to bring it fully to life. And then use the energy technique to further strengthen the feeling of that visualization. The key is to make it as real as possible for yourself, until the feeling is so powerful and it feels so natural. You are using your visualization as a vehicle to step into the desired outcome, and it will come into being as you hold that feeling in place. And now, let's elevate the stakes once again, because conscious creation is not just about manifesting personal desires. It is about taking complete control of your reality and becoming a master of your own experience. And as you move beyond just manifesting what you want and begin to create your life from a space of inner knowing, you are no longer at the mercy of external forces. You are the active creator, and your life is a reflection of your inner world. Take a very specific area such as your health. If you are struggling with a chronic illness, you can begin to use the techniques that you have been learning to create a new vision for your health. You can visualize yourself in perfect health. You can feel the feelings of vibrant energy, and you can use that as a starting point for your healing journey. Or you can use conscious creation techniques to transform your relationships, attracting the love and the support that you truly deserve. You can use this in your career, where you are no longer settling for unfulfilling work, but are actively creating a work life that brings you joy and abundance. This is no longer just about hoping for a better life. It's about actively creating it from a place of conscious intention, and your life will begin to reflect that new inner world. And now, let's evolve the pattern of inner versus outer focus, and understand how this mastery of conscious creation completely eliminates the need to seek external validation. And as you move into this understanding, you no longer need the approval of others, because you know you have the ability to create your own reality, and your focus moves entirely inward, where you discover your authentic power. Perhaps you had once looked to external sources for validation, seeking approval from friends, family, or even social media, measuring your self-worth by how others saw you. But now you know that your worth is inherent, that your happiness does not depend on the opinions of others, that true validation comes from within, and that the world around you simply reflects the inner world you are creating. You are not seeking success, you are creating it. You are not seeking love, you are becoming it. And this power of creation from your inherent nature, from your inner knowing, changes everything. And as you step into this truth, your entire life begins to reflect that internal alignment, and you will no longer need the external world to validate you. This journey moves completely from outer to inner, and you create all that you desire from that space of authentic self-power. And now, let's move into a discussion about the power of collective intention, and see how individual energies can combine to create a massive force of positive transformation. Because what you're beginning to understand is that your intentions are not just isolated events. They are part of a vast, interconnected field of consciousness, where your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions ripple out to affect the entire collective. And by using these techniques consciously, you become an active participant in that collective field. Imagine it as a field of energy where all individual intentions are like vibrations, creating patterns that shape the overall experience. And if everyone moves with a common goal, the entire field moves together. For example, when a group of people comes together with a shared vision of peace and harmony, that creates a powerful resonance within the field. And it is that group power that can shift the entire collective toward a better future. And it is your role to participate. You are always part of the collective, and you can now choose the role that you want to play. And how do you begin to create that positive collective transformation? By intentionally joining with like-minded individuals to amplify your intentions, and by creating a community that is focused on this shared vision. Your collective energy will be far more powerful than you could ever experience on your own. And you can begin this process right now by simply sharing these insights with others. You can create or join groups for conscious meditation and intention-setting circles. You can engage in collaborative projects aimed at creating positive change in your communities. And the key is to actively participate, to join with others who share your values and desire to create a better world. When you begin to practice the techniques collectively, there is an exponential amplification of power, and by combining your intention with the energy of others, you can literally accelerate the transformation of not only your own life, but the life of the collective. This is where the potential for true global transformation resides. The key is to come together. And let's elevate the stakes one more time, because what you will discover is that conscious collective action will bring about radical positive change on a global scale. And as more individuals awaken to their inherent divinity and begin to actively participate in shaping the collective field, the entire world will shift toward peace, harmony, and abundance. The potential for change is immense, for you to create a world where everyone's needs are met, where conflict is replaced by collaboration, and where love and compassion are the guiding principles. Imagine a world where all of humanity is working together to solve complex problems, to eliminate suffering, and to create an environment where all can thrive, and that power can be unlocked by all of you in every single moment. You are each a key part of this movement, and your conscious creation, your aligned intention, is fundamental in shaping the collective future, and it's time to consciously choose the world that you wish to inhabit. This is what is now possible, a world transformed by conscious intention. And finally, let's reinforce that transformation feedback loop by showing that your personal journey is inextricably linked to the collective evolution. And as the collective rises in consciousness, that is a clear reflection of your own individual growth, creating a cycle of expansion that benefits everyone. Because when you are working with a collective that has that focus and intention, that is going to reflect back to you in your own life, and you will see a very noticeable acceleration of your transformation. By participating in a community that shares your goals, you are being supported and held in your personal growth, and the power of the collective will amplify your own insights and actions. And in this beautiful process, you are not only creating positive change for yourself, but you are actively contributing to a global awakening. This shared journey of transformation reinforces the very nature of the interconnectedness of all, and your own personal transformation becomes a powerful force for collective change, as the collective journey is a powerful force for your own growth, and that is the beauty of this experience. The journey is not separate, it is one and the same. And as we move toward the conclusion of this video, let's summarize the core principles that we've explored together. Because what you've come to realize is that your inherent divinity is not just a philosophical concept. It's a tangible reality that you can experience in your daily life, that your personal power is not a future goal, but an immediate potential, and that you are always the creator of your own experience. And by applying these techniques consistently, you will begin to embody your true nature. The energy technique, conscious creation, and collective intention are all key parts of a single integrated path, and it's now your time to step into your power and to live from that space of conscious awareness. And as we move into the next stages of this journey, you are now empowered to do so. So let's bring together the core revelations of this journey we've embarked on, and see how the threads of mystery, technique, and transformation are now so clearly intertwined, because you've moved from a place of questioning your limitations to discovering an ancient energy technique that has shown you, through direct experience, your own inherent divinity and power. And this isn't just another concept for your mind to analyze. It's an experience that you have had within the video that you can continue to explore. You are now aware of your capacity to influence your own reality and the world around you with intention, and that the key to unlocking this potential is not some external authority, but the power that resides deep within you. And by now, you understand that this is not a theoretical exercise. It's a practical and accessible tool that you can use in every single moment. And that is what makes it so powerful. Now, let's complete that pattern of inner versus outer focus, because you now know that the path to discovering your divinity is not through seeking validation from others, nor in some external belief system, but through an inner experience of connection with your true self, and the techniques that you've been exploring with me have been your vehicle for that journey. You may have started this journey seeking answers from the outside world, and perhaps believing what others have told you, but now you are aware that your true source of power and your inherent divinity can be experienced directly within, and that it doesn't rely on any external authority. You've now moved from a space of seeking to a place of knowing, and you have seen how this shift has impacted you through the techniques that you've explored here. And as you reflect on this shift, you will see that your true power has always been within. It was simply awaiting your recognition and your conscious focus, and that changes everything. And now, let's resolve the core question that brought us together. How do you know you are divine? Well, it is through the direct experience of the ancient energy techniques that you've explored with me that this truth has been revealed. It is not a matter of blind faith or of intellectual understanding, but rather a deep, personal experience of your own inherent power and divinity. You felt your energy shift, you've accessed your inner guidance, you've seen your intentions manifest in the world around you. And so, the question is not, do you believe you're divine? It is, can you feel it? And if you can, and you now know that you do, then continue with the technique to deepen your experience and allow your own inner knowing to guide you. That experience is your truth, and it always has been. With that experience in mind, let's crystallize the transformation you've undergone and re-emphasize that you are not a limited being, separate from your divine source. You are an integral part of all that is. You are a co-creator of your reality, and that understanding changes everything, because no longer are you at the mercy of external forces. You are a powerful, creative being, capable of shaping your life and the world around you, and it's no longer a question of simply hoping for change or wishing for something better. You now have a direct experience of your innate power. You now know that you have always been an integral part of this magnificent universe, and this knowing will fundamentally change your experience, because you can now choose to step into your full potential. Now, let's weave your personal transformation into a much broader context, and realize that as more individuals awaken to their inherent divinity and begin to consciously shape the collective field with intention, the entire world will be transformed, and that this work isn't just for your personal gain, it's for the betterment of all. You're part of a ripple effect that has the potential to create a world built on compassion, on cooperation, and on abundance, not one based on fear or limitations, and you now understand your personal power and how that can impact the whole. Just imagine a world where everyone is living in alignment with their true selves, where creativity, joy, and peace are the guiding principles, and your participation in that vision is fundamental. Let's take all of the key components we've explored and structure them into a clear, meaningful framework that will continue to support your growth and development, because you now know that understanding is only the first step, that the real magic lies in consistent application, and that personal transformation is a continuous journey. You understand your innate divinity, you have practiced the energy technique, and you've experienced the power of conscious creation. All of this combines together into a powerful force to move you forward on the path that you are now choosing. And each time you engage with this process, you are strengthening your connection with your inner knowing and further amplifying your ability to shape your reality. And that is why this is a lifelong practice that continues to bring growth and expansion. Let's fully articulate the implications of this knowledge, not only for your personal life, but for the world around you, and understand that it's now time to shift away from seeking external validation and embrace your internal empowerment, and to become active creators of our collective reality, because you no longer need to look outside of yourself for the answers. You now have a direct connection to your own truth, to your own power, and that gives you the ability to shape your own destiny. And this creates a shift from a passive acceptance of circumstances to an active participation in your experience. And as you step into your potential, you can see this isn't just for you, it's for the betterment of all. And that's why your journey is so important. With that knowledge in mind, let's amplify the transformation that is now available to you. Because it's no longer just about feeling better. It's about consciously creating a life that's aligned with your deepest desires, with limitless possibilities. And it's now time to embrace a life of purpose, of joy, of abundance. Knowing that you are a powerful being capable of bringing all of that into your experience. You are no longer bound by old limitations or the beliefs of others. Your life is now an open invitation to create exactly what it is that you want, and you're not restricted to just hopping for things to change. You have the power to create that change from the inside out, and with every breath you take now, you are making choices about how you want to experience the world, and that understanding changes everything. And now, let's complete all of the threads that we have been weaving together, and make sure that each part is clear, concise, and complete, because we started by exploring the mystery of why you felt limited, and what is your true nature. And this has led us to the revelation of the ancient energy technique that has unlocked your understanding that your true self is divine, and that this is not a belief, but a direct experience that you have had. You've seen that focusing inwards, using your intent, and engaging in conscious creation, all are key elements of this path, and it is that experience of inherent power that now empowers you to step forward in your full potential, knowing that every element is connected to that one reality, and that completes the circle of your experience. Let's now fulfill the transformation feedback loop, emphasizing that personal growth is an ongoing process, and that as you move forward, you will continue to deepen your understanding and amplify your power, and that this journey is supported by both your individual work and by the collective support of others, because your journey has only just begun. You will discover new nuances of the techniques and will continue to evolve as you explore more layers of yourself. And the more that you engage in this process, the more that you will see your ability to consciously create amplify, and this ever-evolving cycle of transformation will support you as you grow on your unique path with both personal effort and collective encouragement. Now, let's resolve the initial questions that were posed at the beginning of the video, because you came here feeling perhaps limited, perhaps powerless, or perhaps even confused. But now you know, through direct experience, that you are the creator of your reality. You are not a victim of circumstance. That the ancient energy techniques we've explored has given you the key to take responsibility for your experience, and you now have the power to move forward with purpose and intention. And this completes that cycle, from questioning to understanding, and now you are ready to move forward as the creator that you are. Let's release any remaining tension by creating a feeling of peace, of empowerment, and of resolution, because you now have the knowledge and the tools to shape your own reality. And as you move forward, you do so with the understanding that your life is now in your hands, and your journey is one that is aligned with purpose, with meaning, and with joy. You can reflect on the positive changes that you have experienced already, and be secure in the knowledge that this journey is one of empowerment, and that your potential is limitless, and you are fully capable of creating all that you desire. and that's where the feeling of peace comes from. Now, let's introduce a new territory of exploration by hinting at the vast potential of advanced energy techniques and deeper levels of understanding, as there is always more to discover and even more potential for growth, because this is an ongoing journey of discovery with so many layers of experience, and you've only just touched the surface. What you've experienced is just the beginning, and there are many more techniques that will be revealed that will take you deeper into your true potential. So, stay curious and keep exploring, because the possibilities are truly limitless, and this is what you are here to experience. Let's expand the implications of this personal transformation by understanding that collective action creates positive change, and by joining with others on a similar path, you're contributing to a global awakening, because your experience is not in isolation. There are many others seeking this very same understanding, and by coming together, you create a community of support and an amplified opportunity for change. You are not alone on this path. You are part of a powerful movement, and you have the potential to create a more harmonious, abundant, and joyful world, and you can participate in this now. It's your invitation. Let's create an engagement architecture with a clear and actionable invitation for you to connect with like-minded individuals, to continue your journey, to deepen your understanding and share your experiences, because you don't have to do this alone. And by connecting with a community that is committed to this path, you will find inspiration, support, and encouragement, as well as the opportunity to learn and grow from the experiences of others. This is your invitation to take this journey together with shared goals, and that is how you begin to expand this, as the community becomes its own force of transformation. And finally, let's invite you to join us for future explorations, for more advanced techniques, and for even deeper layers of understanding, because the journey of self-discovery and empowerment is never ending, and there is always more to learn and more to experience, and this is your opportunity to step into your highest potential and to continue to grow, learn, and expand on your unique path. So, if you're ready to continue your journey, please do subscribe and come and explore with us, so you can continue to unlock the power of your own divinity.